hunt. And Ricky Bobby looks to the inside, nothing there. Monster holds his line. Ricky Bobby looks back to the inside, nothing there again. He lays off on the gas and says, hey buddy, I'm going to race you hard, but I'm not going to race you too hard. We've seen two drivers already take themselves out of this race for the most part. TX3 Topher not too far behind these two drivers as well. And then they get back on the back straightaway. SSR Monster, Ricky Bobby, 6th and 7th. Eric Speed now drifting off in the distance. Eric Speed looking for his first top 5 of the season. He's had some really good runs this season, but hasn't seemed to be able to crack the top 5. The last couple of weeks he had a shot, and he wants to get into a chance to do that and possibly get an interview with him after the race as well. The number 35 machine of SSR Monster now looks like he's starting to drift himself away from Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby still trying to make that run. Monster had a pretty good first turn there, gets to the chicane. Problems last time, nothing wrong there. So it looks like Monster has everything under control. Further up the racetrack, we go check out HCR Daytona, the second place car. It looks like we got some lap traffic though. GT500 Wills right there in the 12th position. Right in front of Wills to be SSR Markey and MXR Halo Killboy. GT500 Wills looks like he had to make an unscheduled pit stop. If not, and it was a schedule, he is in a Pujo, so he does have a lot longer fuel mileage. And oh, they almost touched Daytona to the outside. Barely gets around the lap down car, and right now still on the hunt to get to Mosport. And SSR Golly Drift now getting around GT500 Willows. And F4H Scottson doing the same. Golly Drift a little bit off the track though, hits into the sand. And here comes last week's winner, F4H Scottson. Right behind 500 Willows, gets a little loose as they get to the back straightaway. But hangs on to the car, the two 908 drivers keep themselves from wrecking each other out. And Scottson back on the hunt to get back into the, or trying to crack himself into the top 3. And if you're just tuning in, this is week number 7 of the MEA Prototype Challenge. I'm SSR Mayhem, and right now we're running alongside last week's winner, F4H Scottson, looking to make another mark here tonight. But a lot of battling and a lot of tough traffic to get through to get to that point. As SSR Modsport currently your race leader, 2nd place HCR Daytona, 3rd SSR Golly Drift, Scottson in 4th, 5th would be Eric Speed. Two drivers that we have to note though, SSR Markey and the newcomer MXR Halo Killboy. Both drivers taking themselves out of the race early, trying to battle to get around two other drivers, and it made them take some unscheduled stops. Scottson all over the back bumper of Golly Drift. Golly Drift, oh, and Golly Drift gets a little loose, exiting the final chicane. Sorry, the final S is there. Golly Drift maintains the car. Scottson says, no way, Jose. And Scottson looking to check out now. So Golly Drift back in the 4th position as Scottson takes over 3rd. And TX3 Topher now right there in the 8th position, looking to challenge SSR Monster. And Ricky Bobby has actually passed Monster, so that battle between those two guys ends as Ricky Bobby gets around him. Monster with all kinds of problems here the last few laps. TX3 Topher in the 908 as well, another 908 driver, actually the last of the 3 drivers that run in this car, looking to take over the 7th position from SSR Monster. TX3 Topher, his first series he's ever raced in. Looking to make a mark here as a team painter, so doesn't get a lot of race time, and I'm sure some of the guys from his team are excited to see him racing in action and doing really, really well. Top 5 in the point standings, trying to maintain that here tonight. Last week, a disappointing run, and we talked about it with him. He said, you know, I don't want to talk about it. I got to just do what I got to do. Drive the car, maintain my speed, maintain my consistency, and just get back to where I belong. And he's doing just that here tonight. But tough track, tough car to drive, and a tough field of drivers to go with it. So TX3 Topher looking to make a mark here tonight at Road Atlanta. But we go further up the racetrack, or I should go further back. We have a battle for the 9th and 10th position. SSR Markey goes to the inside of SM Sleepy there in turn number 1. Sleepy says, hey, I'm just going to let you go by. I'm not as fast as you. So Sleepy says, go ahead. It's Sleepy! He's going to run and he hits the chicane wall! And unfortunate circumstances here for the number 10 position, or the 10th position, number 92 machine of SM Sleepy, as he gets into his own mix of problems. Scottson right there going around him next. Scottson says, hey, I'm right here, buddy. Let me on go by. Golly Drift is the next car right there as well, but we're going to go back and see how far 500 Wills is. He's actually in the final S's there as well. Eric Speed right there in 5th, and Eric Speed's having one heck of a run again here this week. It's been a season of mystery, a season of wondering how people will drive. You know, we got so many different cars out here, and Eric Speed, a surprising driver this season. And he's really making himself known. He's just ran really consistent all season long. His worst race would have to be back at Monza, a race that SSR Katie won after battling HDR Daytona for numerous, dozens of laps. And right now being held up by GT500 Wills. And we'll go back and check how Markey's doing it. He's actually the last car, I believe, on the lead lap and trying to stay there. And right behind him is the race leader, and that is SSR Mosport. Mosport says, I'm going to put you a lap down. I saw you trying to pass me. And Markey says, I'm going to try to run for my life right now. So we'll see how that turns out. But we'll check on the race map here, see if we can find any action on the track. Seems like it's a pretty spread out field. 3rd and 4th are still relatively close. That'd be F48 Scottson and SSR Golly Drift. 5th and 6th, Eric Speed and Ricky Bobby. And Ricky Bobby looks like he's now starting to gain some ground on Eric Speed. Eric Speed, who got held up by GT500 Wills for almost an entire lap. Finally got around him. Maybe that'll fix the issue. And this just in, Mayhem's Endurance Association on YouTube now has the race covered. And if you're just tuning in, this is the MEA Prototype Challenge, week number 7 here at Road Atlanta. And right now there's been nothing but a pretty interesting race, as SSR Markey actually wrecked earlier today, as so did the newcomer MXR Halo Killboy. Both drivers in the top 10 or top 5 were battling for position, and they both ended up wrecking on the same lap with unscheduled pit stops early on, which is the reason why they are so far behind already in this race. Once again, the YouTube channel is up and operating, and we do have this race streaming live. And Ricky Bobby losing some ground on Eric Speed in the 5th position. And again, this is one of Eric Speed's best runs yet this season. And right now, another lap car holding him up. And we're going to go back a little bit, see how TX3 Topher and Monster are doing. And Topher, nowhere to be seen. We pull up the racing map, and this is what you got. We got about 5th and 6th and 7th are still near one another. 8th and 9th pretty much spread out. SSR Markey, though, about to go lap down. He has not gone. He's never been a lap down yet in this series. SSR Markey, who had the early mistake in this race, looking to go down a lap for the first time in this series. One of the favorites coming in tonight made an early mistake and now is looking to be a lap down here at Road Atlanta. With only 16 of 42 gone, there's a lot of race left, and Markey right now is in deep trouble. He's the last car on the lead lap. And again, if you're on YouTube or watching this race on Mixer, I have my chat boxes up down in the bottom in the right-hand corner of my screen. You're more than welcome to chat it up with me. I see quite a bit of people on watching tonight, and it's always great to have and glad to have you guys with us, as this series has been nothing but excitement, and it's grown quite a bit. And right now, we have a new race leader, and that would be F4H Scottson, as I believe Mosport has made his first pit stop of the race, and yes, he has. Ricky Bobby, SSR Monster in pit road. HDR Daytona also in pit road. Or I'm sorry, he's not in pit road. He actually made a pit stop and now is getting his placements back as he's now in the 4th position. So F4H Scottson and Eric Speed, I believe, are the last 2 cars on the lead lap that needs to take a pit stop here. And we'll probably see one of them, more likely Eric Speed, taking that here very soon. Because Scottson has quite a bit of fuel left in the car. He's got about 55% fuel to go, so he can stay out as long as he can for probably another 18 laps. But this is a 2 mandatory pit stop race. And Eric Speed now coming around the final chicane, and he's making his first pit stop of the race. So Mosport will get back into the 2nd position, as you see right there on your screen. Golly Drift, who's had some little hiccups in this race, trying to get back to where he needs to be. We're going to go see the new face here of the series, and that'd be MXR Halo Killboy. Right there in the 10th position. Had a fast car early on, had a mistake, but he's with us here and is running hard. As you see, HDR Daytona right in front of him. Daytona looks like he's having a little bit of some problems there through the first section of the track. And Ricky Bobby, slow on the back stretch. And he's got damage. 100% damage, clutch, transmission, driveline, and some body damage with some suspension issues. Not sure what happened, but he's got quite a bit of damage and is trying to roll himself in the pit road. And after the first round of pit stops, SSR Markey back up inside the top 5. That would put Eric Speed back in the 6th, so Ricky Bobby now entering the pits. Daytona down the back straightaway. He's got Halo right on the back end of him. Daytona trying to get that Nismo in the victory lane for the first time this season. He's got a lot of work still to do at the halfway point of the race. Scottson still your leader. Mosport in second. Ricky Bobley now just coming out of the pits, barely missing HDR Daytona as he goes around him. Ricky Bobley now 2 laps down with SM Sleepy GT500. MXR Halo right there behind him as he goes to the inside of Ricky Bobby. And your new race leader now, SSR Mosport, on lap 21, as Scottson would make his first pit stop of the race. But Mosport's got some lap cars to get around. First Sleepy, then GT500. Mosport finally get around those drivers. Now Daytona's got to have a little bit of a problem here because car's not the best through all the grippier sections of the track. The straights are where he gets the most out of his car right now. It looks like he's got enough space, so maybe by the back straightaway he'll be able to get around those guys. And Daytona got around Sleepy. Golly Drift, the 3rd place car. 4th place will be F4H Scottson. Not sure what happened between those two guys. Markey also gaining quite a bit of ground. Eric Speed now on the back straightaway. Pull up the race map. Monster now gaining a little ground on him again. Topher is faded off into the distance. Well, but we have a car off the pace. And that would be SM Sleepy. And 5th place car, SSR Markey, making his 2nd stop of the race. Well, we'll find out if Markey can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Because right now, Eric Speed trying to crack his first top 5 of the season. And right now, the car tracking him down right there in the background of your screen is SSR Monster. And he is trying really hard to track down Eric Speed to get his first top 5, I believe, of the season as well. So, 2 drivers that haven't seen the top 5 yet. Working really hard and trying to take advantage of 2 other drivers on the racetrack that have pretty much took themselves out of this race. To be SSR Markey and MXR Halo. Scottson in pit road. And And third place car, Golly Drift, having a little bit of problems. He's got two laps. Oh, there's an accident! SM Sleepy clipping the back end of Golly Drift. Ricky Bobby got right into SM Sleepy. I'm not sure if he got any damage from the incident, and it looks like his car is A-OK. Tough luck for the number 92 machine of SM Sleepy, but it looks like his car should be okay as well. Not sure. His damage report is glitched, so we'll have to find out as he enters or gets around the final chicane. You see Ricky Bobby right in front of him with the battle for 10th between him and GT500 Willis. And it looks like Sleepy's car is okay, so he stays out on the racetrack. And right now, we're going to hang in tight here as Ricky Bobby and GT500 Wills are battling for the 10th position. So Ricky Bobby getting around GT500 Blues for the 10th position. Ricky Bobby trying to rebound after some early mistakes so far in the race. So as tough luck as it's been for him, he is trying to gain his ground back. And right now we have a battle for the 5th position. F48 Scots and SSR Monster side by side, but Monster will let him on by. So Scotson taking over the 5th position, as he now is off on his last pit stop of the race. His car is good to go for the remainder of the race, so we'll find out if it's enough for him to get back up to the front. He was a little bit of ways behind second and first place drivers, as HDR Daytona still looking to try to catch up to Modsport, the race leader. Surprised that Golly Drift didn't get wrecked. Sleepy catching the back quarter panel of his car, but it was good to see that he didn't have those problems. And Monster getting a little loose off of the final turn, heading into lap number 26. But he's been able to maintain the car. And right behind Monster is Eric Speed. And wonder what happened to Eric Speed, as he's now dropped back to the 6th position behind SSR Monster. It looks like he is catching Monster in the pink and white number 54 machine. So right now, between SSR Monster, Markey, and Eric Speed, the battle for 5th to see who gets in the top 5 is really unknown right now. And these are the 3 drivers we'll be watching for as this race continues with about 14 laps to go. We are at over the midway point, pretty much at the final quarter of the race. So as we pull up the race map again, you see Scott's in front of these two. The last 6 cars on the lead lap. Eric Speed trying to stay on it, as you see Modsport in the background as he's looking to put some laps down on these drivers. And TX Topher making his final pit stop of the race. TX Topher once again is in pit road. And Mosport looks like he had a little bit of a hiccup there into the chicane as SSR Markey right back there behind Eric Speed in the 7th position, trying to get his lap back, and not only that, retake a couple positions that he needs to get back. And we'll ride with Mosport as he's looking to put these guys a lap down. But Godly Drift setting the quickest time of the on the track with a 106 flat. And Mosport putting Eric Speed down the lap now. And the battle for 5th will now go as SSR Markey and Eric Speed are going to duke it out. Here comes Markey. He looks hard into the turn. The double right-hander going onto the back straightaway. Mosport leads the 3 cars. Eric Speed gonna have to put a block on here if he wants to stay in front of Markey. Markey with a nice move to the inside, heading into the chicane. He will take over. So Markey taking over the 5th position now. And Mosport and Eric Speed both will take a pit stop here. That should be both their final pit stops of the race. And Daytona now, the new race leader. So HCR Daytona still showing that he's in the mix. He's not far off of anybody. He will be making his pit stop here very shortly as well. About 6% fuel left. Godly Drift is also in pit road. Scottson is on his way through the chicane. Eric Speed is now in front of SSR Monster. And Daytona will now go in for his final pit stop of the race. Godly Drift, 3rd place car, now behind GT500 Wills. And he gets around Wills with ease. A number 22 machine. MXR Killboy, 9th place car with unfortunate early mishaps to the race. He's got himself back up inside the top 10. But SSR Monster gets back in front of Eric Speed. Not really understanding what's going on. Maybe Ford's is messing up. No, Eric Speed has some problems. And Eric Speed slacks into the wall! And he lost control of the car. Not sure what happened right there. At the end, he got off the final turn, just cuts right across the track and almost completely annihilates his car. That puts TX3 Topher in the 7th position now. And in front of Topher, a new battle emerges. Oh, something's wrong with SSR Monster. Something happened. He got a little squiggly on the back straightaway there. And Markey gets back into the top 5. And there's HCR Daytona right behind these two drivers. And he gets a little wide there. Golly Drift a little off pace now. F4H Scotts looks like he's starting to track him down just a little bit there. Eric Speed though, looks like he's starting to gain a little bit of ground on TX3 Topher. I'm sorry, he got past TX3 Topher. And Golly Drift. The inside of Topher, going through the chicane. And Topher into the grass. And he'll let those two drivers get on right on by. And MXR Killboy, Halo Killboy, I'm sorry, will take over the 8th position now. Not sure what happened to TX3 Topher back there. Gotta think that he wouldn't want to give up position. We're going to go check on SSR Markey and see how his fuel mileage is holding up, and he's pretty good on fuel, so he should make it the rest of the race. As he's inside the top 5. Your points leader. Mosport laying down the new fastest time of a 1:05.9. And a car off pace. That would be Eric Speed. And we could have a 3-way battle for 7th here. A lot of glitching going on with forces right now. As we ride along with 7th place Eric Speed, F4H Scotts and right behind him, SM Sleepy, little 3-lap down car right in front of him. And two drivers tracking down Eric Speed. Sleepy goes to the left side, Eric Speed to the right, Scottson follows. Scottson doesn't have the speed to get around Sleepy. Sleepy holding up Scottson. Speed getting away. And Topher battling with MXR Halo as 8th and 9th are now battling it out here with about 5 laps to go. The 3-lap down car, SM Sleepy, about in their way right now. Oh, and Eric Speed wrecks! Something happened to Eric Speed, back to the chicane. And after such a sturdy run for Eric Speed, he will pretty much take himself out of contention. Be in this mix, and TX3 Topher says, hey man, I'm in a points battle right now. I gotta get around this guy. He's trying to challenge Halo, but he's gotta get around Sleepy here. No, Topher trying to track him back down. Not sure if he's got enough in him to get him just yet. He's gained ground on him once. Can he do it again? Eric Speed, not too far off these guys, but he's got a lot of ground he's got to remake up. And F48 Scotson's starting to track down SSR Golly Drift. HDR Daytona still losing ground on Mosport, the race leader. And Mosport with no one in his way. He's got quite a bit of ways to go here. Oh, and Mosport almost wrecking through the chicane. Wow, what a save. That almost was the end of his dominance here at Road Atlanta. He's led every single lap almost. Daytona knows he's going to need some type of mistake from Mosport to possibly get this win here today. He just knows that he has to not let off on this gas. He's going to do everything he can to make the hard final run here with about 3 laps to go. Daytona's doing a lot of driving. Markey, the first car lap down right now. Halo Killboy got himself back into the 7th position after early mistakes. Sleepy back there in 12th. 500 wheels in 11th. Last week's winner, F48 Scotsson, trying to do everything he can to track down Golly Drift to get in that top 3. One more lap remains here at Road Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, though. Can Mosport really not make any more mistakes? He's almost butchered a couple of the chicanes. Oh, he almost did it again right there, but he holds onto the car. And here we go. The white flag is in there! Mosport, one of the most consistent drivers all season long when he's been here. He has been able to make almost every race. but he's been here. And he's got 500 wheels in his way, trying not to make any more mistakes. Mosport knows he has this in the bag. He's been saying it for a few weeks now, how great it would be to get his first win. He knows he had the car to do it this season. On the final back straightaway, Daytona is not going to have enough in the car to catch him. The final chicane. 3 turns remain. The first, the second, and here he comes around the final turn here at Road Atlanta. Your Week 7 winner, SSR Mosport. After a consistent season all week long, he will get his first win of the MEA Prototype Challenge and his first win in MEA history. Second place, HCR Daytona, winning a very good consistent race here, but not enough to get up to the front spot. SSR Golly Drift will remain the third place car, consistent after some mistakes early on. F4H Scottson will remain the fourth place car after last week's winner. Markey, after a big incident early on, he's got one more lap to hold the deal. And the only car that can catch him, Monster, does not have enough to get there. So as long as Markey doesn't make any major mistakes, he will redeem himself from an early mistake here in the final lap, in the final so many turns here at Road Atlanta. And Markey should finish off strong. SSR Monster, after numerous battles between Eric Speed and Halo Killboy, Topher, he will look to try to hold on to the 6th position here. Right behind him, Halo Killboy, his first race of the season, entering a little late, but nothing wrong with that, as he's going to look to hold on to the 7th position after his early mistakes inside the top 5. 8th place, TX3 Topher, not the run he probably was looking for here today. He did a lot of things, he did a lot of battling, trying to get up there. It just seems like the car wasn't able to get there for him, but he ran consistently and had some battles and will remain the 8th place car here. Eric Speed had the car, was up front, had some late mishaps, and will finish in the 9th position. 10th, Ricky Bobby got himself in some accidents, some things that he couldn't pretty much avoid. He'll finish in the 10th position. GT 500 Wills will finish 11th, and rounding out the 12 drivers on the field will be SM Sleepy. And as we wait, we will bring in the top 5 drivers to get your post-race interviews here at Road Atlanta. So just stay tuned as we pull in the drivers to get some race interviews from these guys, as we pull the drivers in to talk to them. So just stay tuned as we invite these guys on in here, and we'll talk to them momentarily. As the lap down cars finish their race up, pretty much everybody besides the top 4 drivers remained on the lead lap there. So some pretty quick drivers up front putting down some pretty quick times and put some drivers down on some laps. It was a pretty fast field here as we wait on HCR Daytona and F4H Scottson to get into the party. Once again, to recap some of the race, SSR Markey with a early mistake, the same lap that MXR Halo Killboy made a mistake. Both the drivers about lap 7 wrecked trying to get around the other, where Halo Killboy was trying to get around Godly, and Markey trying to find some speed to get to Mosport. Both drivers wrecking early on, had to take unscheduled pit stops in those races, in this race here tonight, but Markey was able to rebound from that, as Halo was able to rebound, but not as much. And then basically Mosport ran away with the race. HCR Daytona finished 2nd, 3rd would be Golly Drift, and I believe we have one more driver to come in here, and that'd be HCR Daytona. But while we wait for Daytona to get this underway, As guys have just joined the party, please, as soon as I hit the button, I'm sorry I haven't done that yet, go ahead now, click on the party and check off your audio, as we ended up getting the YouTube channel up and running here tonight also, so you'll be able to look back on the race here today, everyone, and see how it went. But we're going to start with 5th place spot, and probably a disappointing finish, but a good finish from where pretty much the beginning of the race started. That'd be SSR Markey finishing in the 5th position, and Markey started 2nd on the grid. You got a pretty good start there with Mosport early on. It looked like you were just pushing the car, trying to get some speed and looking for a way to get around him early. It looked like he wanted to get up front, wanted to stay up front, and with a little mistake you made, it didn't happen, and then you had to kind of rebound from that and to get yourself back up in the top 5. You know, there's not much you can say to that, but you got to be happy to get back into the top 5.
Yeah, well, a bit disappointed for the beginning of the race for me. I was maybe a bit too aggressive on the start, just to try to pass Mosport, and I just missed at the last curve, so I just hit the wall. And after that, I was a bit short on gas to go until the end of the race, so I was having an extra pit stop to do. So I just made some laps and tried to make it the fastest as I can.
And you know, the question is, were you pushing really hard there? Was that what created the problem, or did you just a bad little section there?
Well, that was a mistake for me. I was a bit too hard on the inside. I hit the grass and then just like went on to the tar wall. So yeah, that was a mistake for myself.
Well, nonetheless, Markey, as disappointing as it may have been, such an early mishap, to have to take an extra pit stop, you got to be happy finishing 5th.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a top 5 with an extra pit stop and a crash. That's good for me today.
And as the points leader, you want to get everything you can, and you're looking to probably rebound next week.
Exactly. We'll see.
All right, well, that's SSR Markey, and moving up the ladder, last week's winner, F4H Scottson. Pretty much finished where you started there, Scottson. Pretty much a quiet race for you. You had a little bit of action in and out. You tried to stay out as long as you could on fuel. Not much you can say, but a top 5 once again. You've been top 5 since you entered the series, so another solid run today. Just take us through your race and how it went for you today.
Yeah, top 5 is always good. Pushed the car to its limits. A few mistakes here and there, but it wasn't anything that would have changed the results. The other cars were just too quick here. But yeah, I'm happy with the top 5.
And was there any point of the race where, you know, it seemed like there's a couple points of the race where you're trying to get around some lap down cars? It seemed like there was a couple of sketchy moments there. Did you ever have any worry that, oh man, am I going to get involved in an accident? Or were you pretty confident that you were doing all right where you were at?
Yeah, I had an incident with one of the back markers, but thankfully it was only a few seconds lost and not, you know, a whole lap with damage. So apart from that, it was okay. Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, another solid run for you today, and going into next week, I believe we're heading to VIR. Pretty sure a track that might suit you a little bit better.
Hopefully. We'll see.
We'll see, and we'll look forward to seeing it. So congratulations on another top 5, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, man. See you next week.
It cut out for it. Well, thanks again. And moving up the ladder, Godly Drift, gotta ask you, man. There was one part in the race where I believe SM Sleepy clipped the back end of you going onto the back straightaway there. How did you hold on to the car? Because he seemed like he hit you hard enough, it spun him around.
I think all I can say is 4-wheel drive. That's about it, really. I think it's just he was battling with the guy who was racing, and it was a case of, right, how do you get through 2 guys that are racing? And they let me up the inside, and then I just ran a wee bit wide, and I backed them up, really.
And you pretty much had the front row seat to the the Halo incident early on the race. It looked like MXR Halo was putting a lot of pressure on you. What happened to him, and were you at any risk of being involved in an accident? We actually weren't on it when it happened.
I don't know. I just remember he was just behind me and then he was gone. Didn't really notice anything really.
Well, as long as you're out of harm's way, and you know, things have happened, but a pretty solid run for you today. You're running some pretty fast times for a while. You and I believe Scottson switched places once or twice. Was there pretty much take us through your race, as it seemed like you were pretty much by yourself out there today as well.
I got a pretty decent start. Managed to get up the inside and sort of got up a few places. And then it was basically just Scottson ended up catching me, getting past. And then just followed him for a couple of laps. Sort of like picked up a good good racing line off him. Then just set about just kind of making sure it didn't get caught out with back markers too much.
It seemed like the left-hander after the first S there, it seemed like it got you a couple times. The sand trap, it seemed like that got a...
Oh, it was bad.
Well, you're able to maintain the car and finish in the top 5, so congratulations, Godley. As we know, as always, you're always looking to improve and bouncing back in the week after, but another top 5, you can't be happy, unhappy about that.
Thanks very much, man. Congrats to the rest of the guys.
And the runner-up, a little bit of a surpriser. Wasn't sure, not so much of a surpriser, but with the Nismo and depending on the track, you were able to keep that car relatively intact there, Daytona. Make sure your audio's on. But just take us through your race. You had a great opportunity early on. You were right behind Markey and Mosport. You kept the car consistent throughout the entire race, and I know you have to be happy finishing right there in the top 5, second nonetheless. Not much more you probably could have done with that car to get up to the front. It just seemed like Mosport had all the momentum going forward.
Oh yeah, you know, Ultima front-wheel drive. It's fantastic. I'm very happy with this result. I know Mosport had the pace on me. I was guaranteed. But I'm very happy with the spot I came up in. And everyone, I hear everyone complaining, oh, the back markers were getting in the way through the corners. Yeah, I'm over here with the back markers catching up to me in the corners. But yeah, it was a good race.
And it seemed like the lap down cars made it really interesting throughout the race. We've seen several times where some of them was slowing up Scott's and some of them slowed up Godley Drift. Eric's speed definitely got slowed up many times throughout that race, and there was a moment in that race where we watched you go the outside through the little chicane there at the end around, I believe it was 500 wheels, and so you've seen your fair share of the back markers today, but you seemed to get around them with pretty much ease, and it seemed like you were very patient throughout the race to get around them once you hit the straightaway.
Oh yeah, I didn't have to fuss about the back markers of the corners. I just knew as soon as I got to the straight, I was going to meme on them. But yeah, the back markers weren't too bad with me.
Oh, another top 5 for you this week. It seems like your connection issues, knock on wood, have gone away. So hopefully this good luck continues for you. And we know how bad you'd like to get your first win, not only in the Prototype Series but in MEA, as you've lost a couple of ones that just got stolen away from you. Are you looking to finish out strong and hopefully get one of those victories by the end of the season?
Damn right I am.
All right, so congratulations on the second place finish here today. We'll see you next week. And the winner of today's race, SSR Mosport, consistent as can be. You finally did it. You finally got your first win of the season, and it's got to feel good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was working towards it for the past couple races, and I'm really happy that I finally got the win.
And, you know, you had that little bit of pressure on you early in the race. You had SSR Markey all over the back bumper. You got away from him. He made a mistake, and pretty much after that, Mosport, it was pretty much clear as day that who was going to win this race unless you made a mistake, and you seemed to be really comfortable. I got to ask you, though, that first chicane, you almost seen the wall a few times, and I got to ask, was it just you pushing the car too hard through there most of the time?
Yeah, sometimes I was just a few laps that I decided to just kind of hot lap and see if I can get close or beat my qualifying time. But then realized that might not be the best idea during the race, so by the end of the race I was trying to back off a little bit just to secure the result.
And even with a few laps left in the race, you almost made that mistake. It seemed like you just didn't want to let off on the gas no matter what, but did you almost scare yourself there at the end?
Yeah, a few times actually I almost spun it. So yeah, I was trying to be careful, but I still managed.
Well, you stay out of trouble all day long. You've been consistent all season long, and you've pushed to new heights. And I know you practiced really hard this week, and it paid off. And congratulations on your first MEA win. And we'll look forward to seeing more out of that in the future in upcoming series and stuff like that. But you're looking to repeat next week, I'm sure. And you know the competition's stiff, so back to back isn't always easy.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm really happy with the result, and I look forward to next week.
So congratulations, Mosport, and once again, for all you that were watching, whether it was on here Mixer, we had a lot of you on Mixer here tonight coming in and out, and then obviously you guys that watch on YouTube, we did get the YouTube channel up and operating, so you can look back on the race afterwards once we're done here. But once again, your top 5 looks like this. SSR Mosport, first win on the season, taking it home, as HCR Daytona finishing 2nd, Golly Drift 3rd, F4H Scottston finishing 4th, and SSR Markey, after a rough start, finishing 5th, as he will continue to lead in the point standings, but also HCR Daytona, not too far behind, going to get a little bit more up there, see if it can make it more interesting by the end of the season, as the MEA Prototype Challenge continues next week for week number 8. Thank you all for watching here tonight, and we'll see you next time here at MEA, the Prototype Challenge.